Hey there! Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something really special, grilling beef short ribs. We've got a fantastic guide here we're unpacking.
Yeah, this comes from the folks over at Fork and Fry. They're home cooks, really passionate about this stuff, the kind of food many of us grew up with.
Exactly. So our mission today is to break down their approach, pull out the key tips, and basically show you how to make this, well, smoky showstopper in your own backyard. It's about leveling up your grilling.
And beef short ribs. They're just different, aren't they? Not like pork ribs at all. So rich, all that marbling,
Yeah.
just perfect for slow smoking.
Totally built for it. And like you said, the Fork and Fry team really makes it clear you don't need to be some pro pit master.
No, not at all. Their whole thing is based on, real family cooking, keeping those traditions going. It's very approachable.
Okay, so let's dive into their actual game plan. How do they kick things off for these ribs?
Well, it starts simple with the rub. They use kosher salt, black pepper, white pepper, paprika, and garlic powder. Pretty straightforward stuff.
Ah, the classics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the key thing they say is be generous. Really coat those ribs well. Don't be shy.
Got it. Go heavy on the rub. Okay, then what? Onto the grill?
Yep, fire up your grill or smoker. You're aiming for 225 degrees Fahrenheit, nice and low.
Right, low and slow. That's crucial for short ribs, isn't it? For rendering all that fat and connective tissue.
Precisely. You need that low temp. And they suggest adding wood, like oak or hickory, for that authentic smoke flavor.
Okay, oak or hickory. Good choices for beef.
Definitely. And you're cooking over indirect heat, so the ribs aren't right over the flames. Again, essential for that long, slow cook.
Makes sense. So ribs are rubbed, smokers at 225 with wood, indirect heat. How long are we talking?
Patience is the word here. They say plan for about 4 to 5 hours. It's a commitment.
Okay, 4 to 5 hours.
Right.
But they have a technique during the cook, right?
Yeah.
Something about spritzing.
Ah, yes, the spritzing. Very important in their method. Every hour or so, you give the ribs a light spray with apple juice.
Apple juice, interesting. Why that specifically?
Well, a couple of reasons. One, the moisture just helps keep the surface from drying out over that long cook time. But importantly,
Yeah.
that moisture also helps the smoke particles grab onto the meat better. It's key for building up that beautiful dark crust, the bark.
Ah, the bark. Everyone loves good bark. That's where so much flavor is, so apple juice helps build it.
Yep.
Okay. And how do you know when they're actually done? After those hours?
They say use a thermometer. You're looking for an internal temperature of around 180 degrees Fahrenheit.
180. That feels a bit lower than maybe brisket or pork butt.
It does, but for ribs, especially beef ribs, with all that collagen, hitting that 180 maybe up to 190 range,
Mm-hmm.
that's the magic zone, where the connective tissue really breaks down into that unctuous, gelatinous texture, makes them incredibly tender.
Okay, so it's not just any temperature, it's that temperature for that specific breakdown.
Yeah.
Got it. What happens after they hit 180?
Pretty simple then. Just let them rest for a bit off the heat. Helps the juices settle back into the meat, and you slice them between the bones and serve. They promise, bold, tender, super smoky results.
Sounds incredible. Now, let's step back a bit. You mentioned the source, Fork and Fry. Their whole approach to credibility is pretty interesting, especially when we think about things like EEAT online.
It really is. They're very upfront about it. They aren't professional chefs. They call themselves passionate home cooks. That's their experience.
Right, and that lived experience cooking these things weekend after weekend for family, for friends, that is their expertise. It's practical, hands-on knowledge.
Exactly. They know what works in a regular backyard setting because they do it. That gives them authoritativeness on this kind of cooking. They're sharing what they actually live and breathe.
And because they test everything, and they only share recipes they genuinely love, and, crucially, that work consistently, that builds trustworthiness. You feel like, okay, if it's on their site, they stand behind it, they want you, the reader, the cook, to have a great result.
Yeah, it feels very genuine, like getting tips from that neighbor who always nails the barbecue, rooted in just loving good food and sharing it.
For sure. And mastering something like these beef short ribs, especially with guidance like this, it really does feel like it can change your whole grilling game. It's a different level.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you want the full recipe, all the details, the photos, everything, head over to their site. It's www.forkandfry.com.
That's ForkandFry.com. And we saw they also have other helpful stuff there too, right? Like guides.
Yeah, tons of free resources, guides on like Which smoking woods go best with different meats, temperature charts, even great side dish recipes like grilled corn or baked beans, perfect pairings for ribs.
Nice. And they seem keen on hearing from people, too.
Definitely. They encourage folks to connect on their social media pages, give feedback on the recipes, share your own results. Just join the conversation. You can find links right from their website.
Love that community aspect. It really fits their whole vibe. So wrapping up, there's this great thought from the source. The best meals are ultimately the ones you make your own.
That's a good one to end on. So, thinking about this method, what personal twist might you put on your next batch of grilled beef short ribs? Something to think about.